2 years sober, my life has changed entirely. But before I tell you about how my life has changed, I want to give you an understanding of who I was and why it was necessary. So let's flash back to 20-year-old Alex living the dream for many people. Miami, yachts, girls, getting blackout drunk on boats, swimming in the ocean, hardly remembering the nights. It was insane. And do I regret these nights? Absolutely not. I don't remember them vividly, but I know for 100% certainty I was having fun. And although fun is not everything, it's important. So I turned 21 years old in Miami, Florida. I mean, people dream of living in Miami, and I turned 21 while I was living there. I mean, how could you not get a little lost in the sauce when you're 21 years old in degenerate headquarters? I was also at the time just blowing up on TikTok, and I felt like a literal celebrity, even though it was just TikTok. I would go to the clubs, and when they say, "What's up, superstar? Welcome back," and they would let me skip the line. So obviously, it was hard for me not to get a big ego, but I think I did a pretty good job at remaining humble. So having just moved from my small hometown in Ohio to Miami, Florida, it didn't feel real. I felt like I just entered a time warp and I was living in a dream. So my life consisted of weekdays, I would get high, and on weekends, I would get drunk. And I'm not proud of this whatsoever. And almost every other weekend, I would host my own party. I would rent out an Airbnb and I would host big parties and use my social media to promote these parties, and I would charge people to get tickets to come to these parties. So it was quite literally a movie. I mean, I'm 21 in Miami, going to the biggest clubs, skipping the lines, getting tables for free, hosting these massive parties, breaking the elevator at these parties. But then it all caught up to me. I think this was God's divine plan. One day, I got a bath ready, turned the lo-fi on the speakers, and I was ready for a very chill night. Then something happened to me that I never wish upon my worst enemy. I hit the joint that I had literally smoked the day before. I smoked the same stuff the night before and nothing happened to me. But for some reason, I hit this weed in the bath and wham! One of the worst experiences of my entire life. And keep in mind, I had been a smoker since high school. I smoked all the time. I smoked heavily. So it was not like I can't handle the weed. I smoked a lot. Dab pens, dabs, everything, I did it. So I was in the bathtub, paranoid, literally tweaking. The only explanation is that the weed was laced with something. So I call my brother, I call my best friends, I call my girlfriend, and I'm like, I'm tweaking. I was tweaking horribly. I was just looking for something that could calm me down. And looking back on this now, this is almost 3 years ago, so it's kind of crazy to even recollect. I ended up just falling asleep that night because the high was so bad. I just couldn't do anything other than fall asleep. But that high never went away. I was in a state of psychosis for months. Dissociation. I couldn't be creative. I couldn't be the best version of myself. I couldn't even think straight because I dissociated every day for 6 months. And if you don't know what dissociation is, it's basically where it feels like you're not the one living your life. It feels like you're the one watching the person living your life, and nothing really feels real. So living in Miami, I always felt pretty overstimulated. So I hardly really left my house much after this. I was cooped up in my little box in the sky, which felt just so unnatural. So months went by, valuable time that I'm never going to get back, but I do believe God put this in my life for me to learn from. There are still days in my life now where I have a little bit of PTSD where it feels like it could happen again. So whenever I get in the bath, my subconscious brain tricks me, because now I'm kind of almost scared of bathtubs, but I overcome that because I just never want to feel that. I know it's my subconscious. So I ended up leaving Miami and I moved to Boca Raton with my girlfriend, and we got a dog together. He's actually sitting right next to me. He's curled up in his little ball, super cute. And it helped me a lot moving out and getting a dog, because I left the madness. Miami is complete madness. Your brain is always firing and there's so much going on. But it also helped a lot to have a puppy, because my life really wasn't just about me anymore. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a dog. But when I take on a responsibility of a living animal or a living thing, that's part of my life. My dog is practically my son. So I wasn't the center of my world anymore. He and my girlfriend were. I became a provider. So it didn't matter how I felt. I have to show up and I have to provide for them. No matter what anxiety I was dealing with, my dog needed to be fed, my girlfriend needed to be fed. So I continued to work regardless of how I felt. Didn't matter what was going on that day. Work still needed to be done. So at this time, this was probably the start of 2023. I moved to Boca Raton, January 8th, 2023. I was making good money, probably about $20,000, $30,000 a month. A lot of it stemming from my social medias that were doing decent, but I knew I was capable of more. I knew that there was just something missing. I would watch influencers and see that they're making $100,000 a month, and I was like, well, why can't I do that? You know, something was missing. So I would drink occasionally at this point, but never smoked again. I've never smoked since that happened. But there was one night where I had a couple friends over. It was nothing crazy, and I drank a little too much, and it was just a bad night. Just a horrible night, vomiting, horrible hangover, and I'd gotten in trouble for alcohol in the past, and I just had to ask myself the question of like, I keep throwing up, I keep feeling like shit, I get in trouble for it. Why do I even do this to myself? What good even comes from alcohol? I was never an alcoholic, but what good is coming from it? Absolutely nothing. Nothing good comes from it. And I think that's the reason why they make it so readily available to everyone. They want you to get in trouble. They want you to feel like shit. So they want you to poison your body. So at the end of 2023, I decided to go all of 2024 without any alcohol. So this year I went from making $30,000 a month to no team, a fraction of my potential, to this year making over $150,000 each and every single month. I drive my dream cars. I have my dream house that I'm in currently. I have a huge team. I have 2 houses and a massive office space for me and my team right down the road from me. And this all happened all within less than 365 days. All because I finally cut out the unnecessary garbage that was holding me back. Because it's not just drinking. It's going out and drinking. It's being in an environment where mediocrity is accepted and praised. And for me to get to the next level of my life, I knew I couldn't partake in that lifestyle anymore. I just couldn't. Because you are what you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by people who just go out and drink, that's you. You are them. So it's been over 365 days since I drank or smoked. And honestly, I don't really have the desire to smoke ever again in my life. So alcohol I have a different perspective on, but smoking is just so stupid. You become lazy, you lack your ambition, you're tired, your creativity's gone, you forget things. I could list so many things as to why smoking is so much worse for you than drinking in moderation. It's just incredible. It leaves me speechless because I can't believe people will still smoke, but they haven't felt a life sober. Some people are like, I don't need to be sober, but you don't know what you're missing. So while drinking is still horrible for you, in the long term, and it affects your health, I genuinely believe that if you drink in moderation, and you deserve to drink, you've been working hard, you've been focused, you're not just partying your weekends away, you're living your life for the weekends, having some sort of drink during an occasion is fine. But the problem with a lot of people is that they make drinking the occasion. A lot of people will just say, let's go to the bars this weekend, let's have people over, let's go there tonight. But it's like, what did you do to deserve that? And I understand the college culture, trust me, I understand, I lived it. And I don't regret living that life at all. So don't get me wrong, but I wish the sooner you get sober, the sooner your life gets better. A clear mind is a vehicle that can change your life and propel you to the next level. You are one good idea away from changing it all. But when the system that is so strategically created sends you directly from high school into college, you're 18 years old, you have no idea what you want to do with yourself, and then they surround you with alcohol, they surround you with hedonism, they surround you with weed, they surround you with attractive people your age, you are not ever going to figure out what it is you want to do. They do this all by design. They send you to college, you become an alcoholic, you never think for yourself, you never take the time to figure out what it is you actually want to do, and then by the time graduation comes, you have no idea what you want to do. More so for college kids listening to this, because I know a lot of you guys are college kids. The sooner you can quit, the sooner you can wake up to the system and how it's designed to keep you poor, the better. For high schoolers, don't go to college unless you know why you want to. And I used to hesitate saying don't go to college because like education's important, but all the education that you could ever need is online. Straight up. You take out so much debt that no one tells you about to go to college. To learn what? To do what to your body? To do what to your mind? Your mind gets fucked in college. And so many people are like, oh, well, I don't know what I want to do, so I'm going to go to college. Why do you think college, how is college going to help with that? When I was in college studying business, I didn't learn one thing about business. The thing that taught me business was going out and starting a business. You can learn so much business from people on YouTube. So it's like, why are you going trying to figure out what you want to do, spending $20,000 a year when you can do it for free? Just go work for a year, take a gap year. No one's forcing you to go to college right away, yet so many people do it. And so many people are like, oh, I want the college experience. What is the college experience? It's a life of hedonism and alcoholism and hookup culture. The college experience is basically one that lacks God. There is no God in college. Very few college experiences bring people closer to God, unless you go to like BYU or something. And I think the world that we need now needs more God. It needs more people with a relationship with God. It doesn't need another person that goes to college and gets fucked up. If that is you, and your life's purpose is to go to the bars, go get fucked up, hook up with girls, live in Miami, get fucked up, hook up with girls, you're just another one of the sheep. Miami is just a glorified college experience from what I learned from living there. Because you go there and it's just like a big college university. It's everyone flexing on each other with all their money. They get fucked up, they spend a bunch of money at the clubs, and it's all about who can get the most girls, who drives the fastest car. It's just literally a glamorized college. The drinking and the smoking will clear your mind. You'll be able to articulate. You'll be able to sleep straight. You'll be able to elaborate. You'll be able to remember things. And then not drinking is not so important in my opinion. I think it's very important for you to discipline yourself and see how long you can do it. Hang out with people in environments that are drinking so that you can prove to yourself that you don't need to drink to have fun and to be social, because you don't. But college and this society will make you think that you do need alcohol. So I just think it's about building that reputation with yourself to know that you don't need liquid courage, because it's not that bad, alcohol. But smoking, I will never do again in my life. I don't think anyone should do it. It makes you stupid. It makes you lazy. That's why they want to legalize it, because it doesn't help anybody. So if you're still smoking weed after this video, I don't know what to tell you. You say, I'm creative when I'm high. I work harder when I'm high. But the thing is that you don't understand what you're capable of when you're sober. You don't. There's no way. You put me versus a high person in any competition, I'll win 9 out of 10 times. I can say that confidently. So the moral of my message is, don't just be another person that goes down the path of partying, hedonism, pleasure, hooking up, and be the person, the outlier, not the sheep, that's connected with God, wants to have a traditional family, rejects the hookup culture, rejects going out to the bars and just getting fucked up for no reason whatsoever, and be the person that goes to church, has a good group of friends that all are working towards one big goal. Build a business, free yourselves and free your family.